The setup is this. You have boarded a boat in Spain and are on your way to England, each for your own particular reasons. You are all people who have experienced at one point or another events of the supernatural kind, but you are not necessarily experienced or professional investigators in the matter. You are simply people who have seen some weird shit and have lived to tell the tale about it. It is 1939. 1839. I'm sorry, because 1939 would not be right. 1839. And it is, in fact, the feast of Yule's Eve, which for Scandinavians is basically Christmas. And while you might possibly prefer to be at home warming yourselves by a fireplace, anticipating eating and drinking food with your families and making merry, you instead find yourselves freezing on a boat, sheltered along a rocky island. The boat was taking you from Spain to England, but a sudden, unexpected storm forced you to find a shelter along a small island called Ushant, one of 4 on the coast of France that marks the halfway point of your trip. A lighthouse guided you here from atop the rocky outcropping. The jagged, dark gray rocks are capped by snow, and the sea, frigid and dark as the soul of a sinner, surrounds you in swells and white foam. The boat jostles you up and down at every swell, and the icy, slippery deck makes for treacherous footing. Dark birds are circling the island. A thick fog begins to roll in, sitting heavily all around you and dampening most of the available light and sound on this cold, cold morning. To make matters worse, people have begun getting sick on the boat, perhaps due to some spoiled food, but many are now ill. As you stand or sit or find yourself somewhere on this boat trying to stay warm and trying to avoid being sick yourselves, I would like to go around and have you tell us a little bit about what would people see when looking upon you, what you are doing, but also perhaps if you have experienced a small moment perhaps on the way here before all this tragedy began, that gave you a little bit of hope that you can carry with you into the darkness that's looming ahead. Please go ahead and share that with us. And we'll go in reverse order from where we went earlier, and I will put Shiv on the spot right up front.
Why not?
What is Henry Treymane doing?
Well,
and what does he look like?
He's a tall, thin man he's got a very pale, gaunt complexion. He has very sad-looking grey eyes, mustache, hair, sort of in the style of the times. Sort of a very cheap-looking suit. As a writer, it's pretty much all he can afford. That makes him look as good as he possibly can look. And he's kind of sitting inside, just scribbling in his notebook. And on this journey over, he's taken inspiration from the waves and the calmness that we've experienced to some of the more treacherous looking swells that we've been through, and has seen that as the balance of nature, the destructiveness as well as the calmness that can happen on these sorts of journeys.
Excellent. Meanwhile, Jonathan, tell us a little bit about what Jack Bergman is up to.
Jack Bergman is likewise a tall man, standing at about 6 foot, so not giant by any means, but a thinner, red hair, fire red. And he's got a very much Canelo look to him, very freckled, colored eyes, green, on the darker side. And he's got, the easiest way I can describe it is a costume. But it's not a costume, but it just doesn't seem like it fits his persona. It's tight in the wrong places and loose on the right ones. It's just a little off-put. And he does not like being on the water at all. He's not dealing well with being on a ship. So he's currently in front of a mirror trying to distract himself, and he's holding you see a medallion in his hand, and he'll hold it, and he'll do this weird, intricate hand gesture at the mirror, open an eye, look at it, and then kind of grimace, and then shift positions, try it again, look again, kind of nod and shake his head a little bit, almost as if he's practicing. And he does this so often just to distract himself when he's uncomfortable on boat rides, and he is very uncomfortable.
Excellent. And perhaps somewhere nearby, we find Kat and Elena.
Yeah, Elena is probably a little bit off from everyone else, likes to keep herself to herself. She's got very long blonde hair. It's not done up in any kind of intricate way. It's just very loosely braided at the back. It's almost kind of white. It's like that very blonde, very blue, deep eyes, and they kind of sort of flicker from place to place. They don't settle anywhere for very long. Probably you would find her observing everyone else for the most part. I think that she takes, I guess, her sort of like inspiration. She does a lot of traveling and a lot of wandering around, and she's seen a lot of very beautiful sights out in nature, but I think she gets a lot from watching people and the way they interact, and especially as there are so many people that have kind of become sick on the boat, and kind of watching, if there's like families or people that know each other, the way that they comfort each other and try to make each other feel better and like carry that flicker of hope even when things are starting to look more and more dire. That's kind of what inspires her, I think. Not that she'd tell any of them that, but
Excellent. And finally, Dr. Cesar Martinez. What's the good doctor up to? I'm assuming the doctor has his hands full.
A little bit, especially with how do you say, seasickness is a very common ailment. I know that for these voyages, I like to have a little extra medicine to be able to help and assist out with this. So one thing initially when we first set off sail, I would have imagined that there was more people, but I had a few days in our travel, a little bit in our travel, of like nothing's going on. So I'm taking time, enjoying, practicing, if you will, this little sheet of music that I brought with me because I like music and I know how to play the piano. And so take a little bit of time before eventually at some point somebody comes in saying, or I hear someone asking for a doctor. So, and then that's where I would come in.
All right, so you have in fact been helping out. There is a doctor on board, but you've been helping out. What you've sort of discovered is that it seems to be more than seasickness. There seems to be, it looks a little bit perhaps like some sort of food poisoning or some issue. They've checked the food supply. Nothing seems to have been spoiled, but I would say that probably roughly about a third of the people on board are sick. They've been quarantined away from everybody else. One of the things that you've noticed is that it doesn't seem to be spreading. People just seem to be developing the condition.
Okay.
As you are busy tending to someone, the first mate, a man by the name of Hans, comes over and says, "Excuse me, Dr. Martinez."
Yes. What can I help you with?
If I could have a word with you, please. In private for a moment.
Absolutely. I would, the patient that I'm attending to, I'm going to give them like a brief, like, hey, this is what you have to do. And then I'm going to step away as I'm just like wiping my hands after that little encounter. It's like, what can I help you with, first mate?
How are things going down here? Has it gotten worse or?
It's developing. This is not something I'm accustomed to seeing, especially with the widespreadness of this. I would expect it to spread, not develop. people aren't catching it from. You can trace it, but you can generally trace some ailment like this. But this is not something that's tracing. These are just random occurrences that are coming up. It's very odd.
Well, I'm afraid it seems to have reached the captain. He's in his quarters right now with the ship's doctor. However, for now, I've been put in charge of the boat, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get a break from this storm anytime soon. We may be here again throughout the day and perhaps even overnight again. On the island, there is something called a storm house. These little islands here all have a building on them that was built specifically for these kinds of situations where voyagers might need shelter, or the problem is that the storm house will not be big enough for everyone, so we have to remain here. However, there would be supplies there. There would be supplies of water, canned goods, medicine, and I think it might be important to go and fetch these.
Okay.
Do you think that is... He seems a little nervous. He seems a bit young, and he's kind of like struggling right now with the whole being in charge. He's like, in your opinion, Doctor, do you think that we should risk sending someone to get these supplies? The storm house won't hold everyone, so there's no need for everyone to go there. But do you think it is worth the risk to send someone up there to get what supplies we might?
Absolutely. I'm running out of supplies myself, so I don't know what your main doctor has left, but I know for me, my personal supplies, that I'm running quite low. So I'm going to definitely need to head up there to grab whatever I can. Now, as far as the other stuff, I'm going to need assistance because I'm only one man and I can only do so much.
Absolutely. Perhaps we could ask the other voyagers who are here if any would be willing to volunteer to accompany you.
That would be most appreciated. Understand that medical supplies could be my primary focus, so I'll grab all of that. But everything else, if I can have assistance, they can grab the rest.
Very well. I'll gather everyone in the main, in the galley, if you wish to finish up what you're doing here and then join us, and we can see who would be willing to go with you.
Sounds good.
Meanwhile, on the deck, Jack, you've gone up to get a little bit of fresh air. It's getting kind of stuffy down there. The weather appears pretty bad, but kind of sheltered as you are in the cove, it's not too bad. You just get a little bit of that cold wind that's, bracing, and it's sort of, refreshing after being cooped up down there for a while. You step up to the railing of the boat and lean over. As you lean over and look into the dark water below, for a brief moment, you feel like you see something, a face maybe under the water. You see water splashing. You see a hand coming out of it. Someone apparently has fallen overboard. They're struggling to stay afloat. What would you like to do?
In seeing this, I start yelling, "Man overboard!" And then I try to grab whatever life vest or a barrel or anything that could float to chuck over.
You reach over, you grab one of those big flotational devices, you throw it, and just as you throw it and it arcs onto the air and goes down to water, you see there's nobody there.
I look around, and then I'm just going to start pulling it back in.
As you're pulling it back up, you hear, "Sir, excuse me, are you okay? Do you need help?"
No, I'm not. All right? I'm fucking sick of this boat. All right? I'm seeing things, and just needed some air. I'm fine now.
The first mate would like to see everyone in the galley, if you wouldn't mind. It's just through here, of course, as you know.
Right. Straightens up, and then he straightens up, and that cold air hits him. That wave of nauseousness hits him, and just kind of shrinks back down a little bit as he wobbles his way.
You head on over to the galley. Henry, you are sitting in one of the. There are a few little rooms that are set up with little desks and chairs and such, and you're sitting at one of them, maybe putting in some notes or going over your manuscript. There is a porthole next to where you are sitting. As you're sitting there putting some notes and sort of, trying to gather your thoughts about everything that's going on, you hear kind of like a song. Someone, is it coming from outside the boat through the porthole? You hear the voice of a woman, very light, and it's very strange because it's not very loud. It should not be reaching you over the sound of the waves and the sound of the wind, but it's unmistakable. This beautiful little, almost kind of like a lullaby, and it's kind of like pulling at you.
He's going to continue to stare out the porthole of this ship, but then his hand starts to shake and he stands up and he kicks the chair back and shakes himself out of it, like feeling very shaken. There's like the anxiety is starting to rise, and he starts to breathe heavily, and he looks around quite anxiously, as if like he's looking for anybody who might have been singing and hope it wasn't something outside.
All of a sudden there's a knock at the door that just jolts you from your wherever. You realize you're still sitting where you were and all your paperwork is in front of you and the portal window is closed. The knock comes again.
Enter.
Door opens. It's one of the sailors. Sorry, sir. Orders from the first mate. Everyone's to gather in the galley. Just doing the rounds, making sure that everyone gets the message.
Oh, yeah, sure. Perfectly. And he's like gathers up everything. He kind of just quickly gets out of the room as quick as he possibly can.
And you head out there. Kat, you've been going around helping people, trying to keep their spirits up and so on and so forth. You have taken a look a little bit, I would assume, at the illness that's been spreading. I would like you to do the first roll of the night for me here, if you would, and give me a roll on your magic skill.
A roll on, my magic skill.
Yes.
Okay, so do I have 5 in that?
Yes.
Okay. What do I need to roll? 6?
You need at least 1 6.
I have 2 6s.
Excellent. You are pretty certain that whatever it is that's afflicting people is not supernatural in nature. You've looked at some of the symptoms, you've, done what you can, and you're fairly certain that it's not supernatural in nature. It's just something natural that's occurring. However, ever since the boat approached this island, you've had this mounting sense of, I don't want to say dread, but apprehension. There is something, the longer you are here, that reaches out and sort of, that you feel almost kind of like, imagine that you would be standing in a clearing or something, and it's light, but you can see the shadows slowly closing in around you, and you are absolutely certain. You've been in situations before, especially near water, where you've had encounters of the supernatural persuasion, and this sort of feels like that, where you feel that there is a power that is gathering. It is not quite here yet, but it is gathering around you and around this place.
I think she kind of she kind of takes a moment to feel this moment, and she closes her eyes and tries to. She sort of almost ends up muttering to herself a little bit, and just is going, "Okay, yes, but where are you? You're going to have to give me something a little less vague." And then, tries to pinpoint like exactly where this feeling is coming from.
As you're doing that, and as you're trying to sort of get a bead on this, you hear footsteps behind you. Something approaching you. There's a presence. It's coming up. It's right behind you. It's almost on top of you.
She'll turn with a smile, thinking that the thing is behind her. And I imagine she'll be disappointed, but...
Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. Jack, you have been coming down, heading towards the galley, and as you round the corner, you almost run into this blonde woman who was standing there with her eyes closed, muttering, "Tell me something about you. Tell me who you are. I need more information." And as you almost kind of run into her, she turns around and, "Are you disappointed?"
Very.
Fuck.
I think that she'll be startled for a moment, and she'll go, and then her eyes will narrow slightly, because I feel like she might have been watching Jack do these really strange things on the boat, with the mirror, and she'll go, "Oh, it's you."
God damn it! Should put a bell on you. My God. Yes, it's me. You were. I'm sorry, your name was...
Elena,
right. Jack, and he extends a hand out.
I think she gives a good long look at it before she slowly shakes it.
Noticing the apprehension, it's he does one of those weird, I'm not even going to meet you all the way, just grab the tip.
It's like a little like...
Yeah, just like, all right, okay, we're gonna be prim and proper about this. Good old British etiquette here. Right, okay. Well, I need to get off this damn boat, and the first mate wants to speak with us, or with me at least. Anyways, right, I'm just gonna, narrow hallways on a boat, so I'm just gonna scooch around you.
Okay, well, is it just you, or... everyone, or
it might be everybody that's not currently puking their guts out. So, would you like to come with me?
And she kind of looks around. She goes, "I think I fit into that category. Yes." And she'll wait for you to start going, though.
It's doing that awkward thing where he's like,
"Shall we?"
Wanting to say ladies first, but he's like, right, is that presumptuous?
She's definitely giving you a look of, "Don't say it."
All right, I'll just lead the way then, yeah? Oh, right, okay. And she just starts walking down the hall. He's like, "So you're a bit of a magician?"
Huh. No. She offers no more.
Okay, right. It's fascinating. Coming often? As we just fade, as we walk down the hallway.
You eventually arrive at the area where everybody's gathering, the galley, the place where they serve the food usually. Henry, you're coming down, and as you are approaching the door, you see Dr. Martinez hurrying, and Dr. Martinez looks like he's wearing a jacket, and he's got a backpack, and he's got he's all equipped like he's about to go out hiking or something.
Doctor?
Hello? Who called me?
Doctor.
Oh.
Henry Treymane, hello.
Hey, Henry, how are you doing?
I could be better. Are you leaving us?
Potentially. Are you busy by chance?
I mean, holds up his like notebook. I'm always busy, Doctor. Always an idea. Always a bit of inspiration here or there. What do you need me for?
Fantastic. Follow me, please. We're going down to the galley. We are to meet up with everybody else, and we're probably going to be needing to go on shore here in a little bit. I could use a little bit of assistance if you have no problem with that. There's some medical stuff that I need to pick up, and I think that they've mentioned something about food, water, stuff of that nature. So I can only carry so much, and I understand that my priorities is definitely going to be the medical supplies.
Perfect. No, I'm fully on board, Doctor. Lead the way, sir. Lead the way.
Fantastic. And you're just going to see us like, I'm going to slap my bowler hat on my head and just start like beelining it, continuing on over there.
You all find yourselves in the galley, and the first mate eventually steps up. People are, there's a buzz of conversation going on. There's a fireplace. So there's a fire going. It's nice and warm in here. They've busted out some sherry for everyone to enjoy. The first mate, along with someone you recognize as Dr. Martinez, step up in front of the crowd, and the first mate says, "My friends, we are in need of some supplies. Our supplies are running low, and especially the medical supplies now. Some of you may not know this, but on these islands in this area, there are these structures called storm houses, which are meant to offer shelter for fishermen or anyone caught out at sea during a storm. We unfortunately are too many to make use of those facilities. However, they do have supplies for us. Dr. Martinez has very generously offered to lead a small group of people to the storm house to try and get what supplies may be had there and bring them back to the boat. So while I understand that the idea of going out into the storm on this strange isolated island may not be very appealing, there are people who live here. The lighthouse is occupied by Lighthouse Keeper and his wife. His name is Oscar. She is Ingrid. They will be here, and I'm sure very willing to help. They may even be able to give us some idea about how much longer we might stay here because of the storm. So at this point, I would like to ask for volunteers. We will, of course, provide you with all the equipment that you need to make this little jaunt safe and as comfortable as possible. But I would like, first of all, to open up the floor and ask if there are anyone willing to volunteer to go on the island with Dr. Martinez and try and get some of these supplies.
I think about 2 sentences into that entire spiel, Eleanor already had her hand up.
Yeah, I think the second that volunteers was mentioned, Jack just raised his hand. He's like, for the love of God, please, I need to get off this damn boat.
Yeah, Henry will raise his hand, but then he notices Eleanor and he goes, Jesus Christ, and just looks away like, wait a minute, I recognize this woman. She's a panic.
I think her eyes glance towards and one eyebrow just raises ever so slightly, but she keeps her hand up.
And he's trying to keep his hand raised, but disappear into the crowd, just behind someone else. Because he's like,
so there's a couple more people that also raise up their hand. And the first mate will say, I think 4 will probably be more than enough. And he points to the 3. He says, Dr. Martinez, any last words you would like to, last words, such a bad turn of phrase. I'm very sorry. Any a bit of advice or anything you would like to say to to the people here before you set off?
Just keep an eye out, and I'll list out all the symptoms that I've been seeing, and say if you start developing any of these, please go see the boat doctor and get yourself quarantined. And please let him know of anything that you've come encounter with, any sort of foods, anything you drank. We're still trying to pinpoint things, but we'll be back here momentarily. Hopefully, we can be back on our voyage here in no time. So, thank you.
So, you will be given warm clothes. You will have backpacks with anything you may need, so you don't have to go through the gear list or anything like that. You will have rope, whatever you might need. We'll just assume that you have. They also have a weapon, so anyone who wants a rifle or a pistol can get a rifle or a pistol. So you just mark it down on your sheet if you want. It would have that on the boat. The first mate is going to show you a map of the island, which you can see on the Owlbear Rodeo. He will point out that, so you are here.
Mm-hmm.
You are here right now. The lighthouse is up there. He will tell you that if you go around here, you'll have to walk along the edge of the island, down here, and you will eventually be able to come around here and find stairs leading up. From there, the storm house is over here.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't a tropical situation. Got it.
Not quite.
This is not the
Jack
Hawaiian
with a big
vacation I was hoping
straw.
for.
Big straw boat on.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
ain't
you're
the
not taking a
Bahamas.
stroll
Wait a
with your
minute.
toes in the sand.
I was lied to.
This is not the pleasure cruise I signed up for.
Honestly.
Remind me again, the Oscar and Ingrid are up at the lighthouse, correct?
At the lighthouse, yeah.
Okay.
So he'll say that it's possible that they live at the storm house also, or that they use it. Different people have different ways of doing it. There are living quarters in the lighthouse itself, but sometimes people kind of need to get away from that, and so sometimes they may, opt to spend some time in the storm house. But you'll see when you get there, basically.
Okay. All right. I'll probably turn over to the group and say, like, again, good day to you all. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm going to reach out to shake pretty much everybody's hands in like quick succession. I'm again Dr. Martinez. Be leading this track. My suggestion, I will probably like kind of stop in front of Elena and just be like, just give you like a quick look at you, because I'm making eye contact with everybody. I'm going to look at like, my suggestion is that and I'm just going to break eye contact from there, is to head to the storm house first. Not the storm house, I'm sorry, the lighthouse first. And hopefully link up with Oscar and Ingrid to at least have like some idea as to like what they've seen, and maybe expect how long we're going to be on in this area. And hopefully they may give us some more optimistic news as opposed to just waiting and waiting.
An excellent suggestion.
Okay.
Henry at this point he's just still trying to sort of hide behind and not look at Elena at this point still, and he's gonna like sidle up to Jack and be like, my good fellow.
What?
The blonde haired woman, is she with you?
No, just met her in the hallway. She was muttering to herself and doing, I don't know.
Don't look at her, man. Don't look at her.
I'm fucking sorry. What is she dangerous?
I don't know. Is she? Have you spoken to her? Is she real? I just want to clarify this for the start. Is she real?
I'm sorry. Is she real? Like,
is she a real,
like corporeal,
living, breathing person? Correct.
Yes. Yeah. I shook her hand.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Are you? Can I roll an investigation on this guy? Like, is he a stalker? What is going on?
Yeah. So what you would do if
Is
you
this
want to
Jack the Ripper?
you would roll empathy and observation to try and pick up some information about him.
Did I just stumble across a fucking psychic?
I think that Eleanor is very distracted because I think she definitely picked up the vibe from Cesar of like that he had just stopped talking for a moment and then continued. So she's like looking at him like, And you can see she looks a little like itchy. She looks a little bit like, do I need to?
One success.
Shiv, are you trying to be guarded or are you not trying to be guarded?
Basically, what you can see is he looks visibly like
Shook.
shaken. Yeah, by seeing this woman. He's visibly like affected by seeing this woman. That, yeah.
All right.
But so I think you might clarify by saying that it's not like, it seems to be something strange and out of the ordinary. It's not like,
Would it be in between? I forgot the words that I'm looking for, so forget it. I forgot what I was going to ask you. Wow.
I'll be like, I'm just going to say to him, like, I've seen her like 3 times this year.
Oh.
I'm a writer, and I show him I'm a writer, you see. So I do book tours and such. You may have heard of me. I The Secrets and Sciences of the Occult. Have you read it? It's available. It's out there.
Oh, would I have read that, Bleak?
Yeah, actually, you would have. And hopefully I get to explain why at some point, but you totally would have, and it was riveting, and it was like inspiring stuff.
There's gonna be this moment of me looking at the book, and then the name connects, and it goes from just like a confused look to slowly, oh my god, it's you!
Henry Treymane, hi.
I'm such God. It's Henry Treymane. I'm gonna start pointing at you.
No,
It's Henry Treymane. Look at him. He's here. Oh,
please,
I found your book.
You,
this is amazing. Oh my god, you're part of the reason why I do this. This is God.
Well, it's always nice to meet a fan.
Much more than a fan. It just fades away to like me just rattling your ear off about just almost reciting back like parts of your book to you.
And meanwhile, Elena, you were taking an interest in Cesar. Is there something you would like to do?
I think that she would probably be watching just to see what his immediate behaviors after kind of talking to us. She got the sense that maybe he figured out something about her, which she doesn't like that feeling. She's normally the one doing the figuring out about other people, so she doesn't like it when someone else knows something that she doesn't know. So I think that would pique her curiosity enough for her to head over and say, You are one of the doctors on the boat, are you not?
Yes, I am, ma'am. Like I said, Dr. Martinez, nice to make your acquaintance. You're also gonna like notice me, folk, like you know how like when you're talking with someone, like you make that general eye contact, but it's like now I'm focusing on like your eyes specifically, like I'm shifting back and forth between one and the other.
She'll continue, but she's watching what you're watching. And she'll say, a most rousing speech, certainly better than any last words, an attempt at humor.
I appreciate that dearly. I'm not an orator by any stretch of the imagination. It's just one of those that you asked for words, though those were very poorly chosen words, and I'd figure something maybe a little bit more like, hey, this is what we are facing right now. So
is something the matter?
Yes, the sickness is just something I've never faced with.
I mean, with me, you're looking at me strangely.
Yes, I beg your apologies, but your eyes are something that I've not seen before. How is your vision, if you don't mind me asking?
She will like visibly tense up when you start talking about her eyes. My vision is, there is nothing wrong with my vision.
Okay.
In fact, I would say that I see better than most.
Okay. I figure I ask. I've never seen somebody with the shape of your pupils are just something I'm not seeing. So I'm curious to know if you've happened to have any sort of affliction. But if you are seeing better than most, then there's no issue with it. There's just something to cure. Do you mind if after all this I can kind of document this? This may be something that may benefit the medical field at some point.
She looks very put off by the idea of that being documented in any way, shape, or form. I must say, you're rather forward.
Sometimes you have to be, but forgive my forwardness. I apologize.
You haven't seen my affliction, and you probably won't. Let's get to know each other better and go from there, shall we?
Fair enough. He'll nod his head and just like smile and like turn back and take a look and see where we all need to be heading off to.
As you disembark and find yourselves on the shoreline, the darkness, Kat, that you were feeling is seeming to coalesce even more. It's as if with every step that you take, you're getting closer to whatever this thing is. The four of you find yourselves on that shoreline. The wind here is incredible. You can almost not hear each other talk as it's whistling and whipping by you. The roar of the surf as these giant waves that are white-capped are sort of rolling in and crashing on the rocks around you. The spray of it, the humidity is just seeping in. Even though you're wearing these thick, warm winter clothes, the humidity is just seeping on the inside, and it takes moments for you to feel like you're all wet, like you're cold and damp already inside your clothes, and you're starting to wonder if you'll ever be warm again. The only sort of saving grace is that it is daytime, and so there's a kind of pale gray light that suffuses everything and sort of marks the way, and you start walking along the very treacherous coastline as it's rocks that is mostly covered in ice and water, and it's very slow going, and it's the kind of difficult walking that makes your thighs burn very shortly after, as you're kind of trying to keep control not to slide over. At some point someone has the good idea of handing out a rope and making sure that everyone's hanging on to it, so that if someone falls you can so you're suddenly kind of aware of how much mortal danger you are, very literally sort of being out here. As you walk along the edge of that map of that island, at some point you will find yourselves around here, maybe about 20 minutes into the walk. Mm-hmm. Arriving here, you will see what looks like a boat, a small boat, like a rowboat of some sort that has been pushed ashore here. It's on its underside, it's not flipped over or anything. It looks like it's been pulled or pushed up over onto the side of the edge of the island. And you also notice, at first you hear it, there's this kind of whistling noise, and then it starts to sound almost like a creature mewling or something. There's just this kind of sound, and then as you approach it, you realize that there's the entrance to a little cave there, right next to where the boat is. What would you like to do?
Do we all hear this?
Yeah, it's just this kind of whistling noise, you figure, of air that's passing through the cave, maybe, indicating that there's probably an outlet somewhere else.
Could I do an investigation to see if I can find any tracks in the area or anything that could determine if it's someone or
Absolutely.
something?
And Myriad is just donating 300 bits, buying each of you an additional advantage. So thank you very much, Myriad. Very lovely of you. And so you each have 2 advantages now.
In Vaesen, advantage just means add a die.
2 dice, okay. Sorry. So you're going to do your investigation check to look at that. What are the rest of you doing? Shiv, what will you be doing?
I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna observe. I'm gonna try some observation of the general area of this state of this boat, if that can give me any clues to anything that might be going on here.
And that's first one of the night. The devil's luck, my friend.
Oh. So for those of you who don't know, I have a house rule when I play Vaesen. If you roll 3 6s, not 2, not 4, not 5, but if you roll 3 6s, you get the devil's luck, which means that something really excellent happens for you.
Ooh.
So all right, so keep that roll for a second there, Jonathan. Shiv, what are you doing? You're checking out the boat. What is the doctor doing?
I think I would probably be going to help to go with Henry to check out the boat to see if there's anything there, just investigating generally.
Okay, and what is Elena doing?
I would like to use my 6th sense to try to investigate to see if there has been any Vaesen in the area. I have a talent called 6th sense.
All right. Do you have to roll something for that, or does it just...
It says, I think I have to roll an investigation. When making
so go ahead and do that.
Tests, I can spend extra successes to learn if there's been something in the area.
So go ahead and do that. So, Jonathan, there are no tracks per se. There's a lot of fresh snow here, so you don't notice necessarily that there are tracks and so on and so forth. However, you got the devil's luck, so I'll give you a few things. One, you get the feeling that this boat was dragged here, that it crash landed maybe somewhere else and then was dragged here, the way it's positioned and everything else. There's be no way for it to have just landed here from the water. There's like a rocky shelf there, and you really doubt that the water rises above that. So it was sort of landed there. It looks like it's been here a few years. It is entirely encrusted in ice and snow. The ground around it, it's basically fused by ice now to the stone around it. And I will tell you to keep your 666, your devil's luck, because I didn't give you a lot. There was not a lot to get with that roll here, but keep that in your back pocket, and soon I will give you some more stuff to go along with that. I will do Elena's thing next. Elena, you reach out. What did you get on your roll?
So I rolled 2 6s, so I think I can spend 1 to learn like one thing, or if there's like something based and related. I think that's how it works.
Yeah, so no problem. You reach out. You do not find any connection. There's nothing. You do not feel the presence of Vaesen. There's nothing that trips that alarm. This is what it will give you, Jonathan, for your devil's luck as you're investigating. As Elena is going around doing this thing that she's doing, kind of reaching out her senses, you will notice a couple of things. One, she is clutching what appears to be a long sort of bone in her hand. She's probably not waving it around or anything. She's probably kind of, but you do notice that she's clutching that. And for a moment, as you look at her in the midst of doing whatever it is she's doing with your devil's luck on your investigation roll, for a moment, when you look at her, she does not look quite like herself. She looks somewhat different, more ethereal, more inhuman, perhaps. Do you want to give a detail, Kat, or?
Yeah, I think that Eleanor has been looking pretty, like, she sort of looks like roughly when she's in like a sort of like 25-ish in terms of how old she is, or maybe sort of coming up to 30. just for a moment, as she sort of takes a step forward, something seems to shift, and suddenly she looks like she's more, like a bit older. Maybe her blonde hair actually looks white, and as she kind of continues to mutter, so like the light slightly changes, and suddenly she looks much younger, and she almost looks like a teenage girl, and then it kind of fades away again, and she's back to looking.
Interesting. I'm kind of imagining the heat coming off of the pavement on a hot summer day, kind of that mirage.
Yeah, like it's
look.
a very like a very mirage-y type. Yeah.
Wow.
I will say, Jonathan, that in that moment you kind of understand perhaps what Henry was talking about earlier. There's something strange and ethereal and unnatural about her.
And she seems like very far removed from the rest of you are doing. Like your investigations are very much around like, I'm looking for physical tracks or I'm looking for whatever. She seems to be looking for like a vibe.
Yeah. With three bros being like, maybe we can just break this boat off.
Yeah.
What this bro do?
She's very much
found a rock,
a
bro.
vibe check in the corner and she kind of is like muttering to herself again, and this time she's saying, I know you're here, I can feel you, but it's like very quiet what she's saying.
Okay.
Jonathan, I will give you one more thing with your devil's luck.
Oh, dude, feed me. Come on.
I know. You, at some point, feel something crunch under your foot, and when you look down, you see there's a pair of reading glasses under the snow there that you've just stepped on.
Ooh. I take them, I clean them off.
They're very old style, and it's clear that they were broken before you step on. They were already broken before you stepped on them.
Okay. I definitely raise it up, and in the wind and the sheer blizzard that we're dealing with, I found something. And I'm fucking trying to see anybody that's nearby.
Cesar and Henry don't notice because they are completely absorbed right now in realizing that in the boat is what appears to be a skeleton.
Oh, shoot.
Oh no. All right, just drop that one in there then, yeah.
So casual, Bleak.
He's so proud of his reading glasses, and then it's like, well, we found a whole ass skeleton over
I was so
there.
excited too. I was like, first
You're like,
clue.
I found something, and they're all like around the boat. Going, like, oh my God.
Like, yeah, so did we. 206 of them.
I just want you to know as well that the moment that you shout out, I found something, Eleanor definitely tuts and says, must you interrupt me every single time?
What?
What?
Can't hear you in the wind.
The wind and the blizzard.
So yeah, Henry and Cesar, as you were investigating the boat, as soon as you approached it, you saw that there's what appears to be the remains of a dead body inside this boat.
As soon as we see the dead body, I'm going to. It's all skeleton, correct?
Not entirely. It appears to have been preserved to a certain degree by the
Probably
cold.
too cold, yeah.
But it definitely. Your feeling is that it was probably left here in the warmer months, and so got pecked at to a certain degree by, various birds or things. But it is a dead body, partly skeletonized, but still with some frozen flesh on it.
So probably within like the last 6 months. Let's rough around, sure.
In fact, it looks like it's probably been here a couple of years.
Oh.
So yeah, at least this last 6 months.
So I'm just gonna go into it and just like with that same kind of attitude of just like very straight to the point of it. I'm just gonna just start examining as much of it as I can, and then I'll look over to Henry and be like, write this down if you don't mind, please. And I'm just gonna start like making all the observations that I see. This gentleman this is a male. roughly about, between, X height and X height. Potentially could have weighed about X kilograms, and this, that, and the other, just to document everything that we've seen so far. I'm like, oof. With the cold and everything, it seems like he's probably been here probably a lot longer than what he appears.
Longer than he appears, question mark.
You will... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Doctor, does it look like there's any animal wounds? Like big animal type wounds? And he starts like looking around.
Nothing...
Does anything look like it's been gnawed upon?
Yeah, but not by anything big.
So mostly by scavengers.
Birds, scavengers, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's been gnawing on. But anything big? What do? No, this
bears or I don't know.
I'm just gonna like stop and I'm just gonna like slowly turn over to you, like, kind sir, look at where we're at. There, and does it look like there's any sort of bears around here?
I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. You're an educated man, Doctor. I'm just a humble writer.
What does stand out to Cesar? What does stand out to Cesar is that the cause of death appears to be a rather large wound in the skull. It appears to have been done by some sort of thick, heavy blade, and was done to the back of the skull.
Do take notice of that this man wasn't killed by any sort of like natural means I mean, technically you can go into that's dark humor. This man was murdered.
Ah, I see now.
And then you're just gonna see as like I turn over the body just to kind of like show it and like that's not any sort of animal.
God.
Oh,
Just
and I'm just gonna
away,
put it right, put the back.
God, man.
Sorry, not there. I have to. Not the doctor. I'm coming at you like this. My apologies, but that was very much not a natural means of death.
So what are we thinking here? Blade to the back of the head, a monetary dispute? Is that kind of where we're going with this?
It's definitely murder, but that's not normally my realm.
Should we just like search him as well? There could be something else in his pockets, maybe. Get in there, Doctor. Come on.
I'm just gonna stand on up, like pull out like my little handkerchief, and like, no, this is police thing. This is police business. I don't even do any sort of coronary work. I don't want to touch this or contaminate this any more than what I have to.
He sort of looks around and went, I won't tell if you won't.
By this point, the rest of you have approached and you
how is Henry's anxiety levels at this point?
Quite high.
Yeah, perfect. I'm going to come right up behind Henry, lean right in close to his ear and go, what have you found? Like, really?
And he just like collapses to the floor and just like starts scuttling backwards and over. Jesus Christ almighty.
She just has this really amused expression on her face. But then she looks back at the body and her face grows a little bit more seriously.
That's when you see a chicken there and Jonathan goes, murder most foul.
So much, which is funny because what I was going to do for the bit was I'm going to poke around the entrance and be like, someone say murder. Shoot it.
He's got a cross and he's pulled it out and he's holding it towards Eleanor.
You'll find a few more things as you take a look. I assume that someone will be less reticent than the doctor to sort of take a look. You will notice a few things. One, the victim appears to be wearing, and this is something the doctor would recognize, clothes that are the type that patients in a healthcare facility might wear, like these kinds of white scrub-like things. This is backed up by the fact that there is a plaque on the boat that reads Sun Chaser, Norcorping Health House, which you don't know where it's at or where it is, but it could be somewhere nearby enough on the coast of France or something like that, a sanitarium of some sort. And inside the jacket or the sort of shirt thing of them, and there's labels that are sewn in that have a name, and that name is Jacques Arnaud.
What was that?
Jacques Arnaud.
God, I thought you said Jack. I don't
I
know.
think
Jack, I don't know.
I don't know.
I was like, Bleak, how do you not know? You made this story.
Jacques,
This is
I
your
don't know.
NPC.
Yeah.
You just haven't.
But when I
investigated
wrote this
item.
story, it takes place in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
So as we're going along, I'm
You're translating in real time.
names.
Yeah. It's the equivalent of me creating, Boblin the Goblin. Fucking.
Yeah.
So you are there. You are on the side of this frigid water. You have this boat with this what appears to be a murder victim in it. The cave is there. You hear the whistling noise that indicates that maybe it leads out somewhere. And you can also continue around, going back to where you were going originally. What would you like to do at this point?
How bad is the weather looking at this point? Is it becoming like a whiteout sort of situation?
No, it's
where we
about the
can't-
same as it was.
Okay.
Okay, it's not getting worse. It's not.
No.
It's not decreasing. Okay, staying the same.
Good call. Good question. The ice that we're on, because I see that there's that ice on the outer edges. Is there any part of it that's thinning the way that we're going? Would it be better to double back the other way, or?
No, it looks fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I.
Do we know where this cave leads?
Or is it just this hollow place?
No, it is. It
Like-
looks like there's a cave, and you can definitely feel a draft, and there's like that whistling noise. So there's it probably opens up somewhere else.
Ooh.
Well, I don't know about you all, but I can at least say that if this case potentially gets us closer over to the storm house faster, it wouldn't hurt. I don't know about you all, but I wouldn't mind the shortcut.
Is the cave entrance that we see there big enough for us to scuttle through, or is it?
Yeah.
Like...
Oh, yeah. You can basically walk through it.
Oh, okay, so it's
Meta, yeah.
Thank God we're not shimming through anything.
No.
Right. Well, I don't disagree, but it is a cave, and I can't see in the dark. So, lanterns, torches.
You would have those.
Okay.
Just on the off chance, did anybody happen to have brought any sort of weaponry with them?
I whip out a
Pulls
pistol.
out a pistol.
I pointed to him like, hey!
Yeah, I think that Eleanor just holds up the dagger because she definitely did not take any guns from the boat. And she just kind of holds up the dagger and she looks and she goes, "Theirs is more impressive than mine," and then puts it back.
I see your dagger, and I also go, hey, just a little quieter.
You
Shakes his hand shaking with the gun.
The rattling pistol.
you step into the cave then, armed with your weapons and your lanterns and whatnot. You find that immediately inside the wind cuts out, and it's nice. There's just a bit of that, whistling one that sort of goes through. It angles up really quickly. You can definitely tell that this appears to have been, at some point, the main way they got supplies in here, because you can see old crates, wheels, tracks, things of that nature. There's at some point, there was probably a rope on a pulley that would come down so that they could roll up, little wagons full of stuff. As you are going through it, about 10 minutes into it, you arrive in this area that's kind of an open space, and then you see a ladder that goes up. But in that area, as you step into it, you notice something strange. As you approach it, the wind has kind of died down. There's a little bit of that gray light that's coming in from that sort of well opening at the top where the ladder goes. And all around you, on the floor, the walls, the ceilings, you see crosses, prayers, all of them written in chalk and in paint, done over several years, one on top of the other. All these Christian symbols entirely covering the entire area of this portion of the cave.
Wow. Are they in sort of different languages, or are they same language?
They are in, they would be in English.
Okay.
Sorry. My D&D brain was like, Elvish? Who knows Dwarvish?
Probably.
Anybody know Draconic in here?
You know, those Christian elves. Those Christian elves.
Those Christian
Does anyone
elves?
speak abyssal?
Yeah, right? Oh, well, technically this would be Celestial, I guess. But
I've got deep speech. Anybody? Deep speech?
right, fascinating then. Probably best not to touch anything.
I'm going to start sort of like scribing down, like copying some of these symbols or anything like that, just to, we've got a reference in case we see these sorts of things later on.
I'm gonna be, anytime he's writing, I'm trying to look over his shoulder and be like, is that for your new book?
I mean, it might be. Inspiration everywhere, my good fellow.
Right? God.
Do any of the symbols or any of the words written down or anything like that match? I think that Eleanor would probably be looking for superstitions around certain types of creatures, or something that people might use to like ward certain things away or appease certain spirits.
A lot of, well, first of all, you tell me, how much would Eleanor know about the Christian religion?
I think not. I think she grew up in a Christian family, but I don't think that she had a connection to it.
Okay. Well, I would say that you certainly find a lot of, prayers to Saint Michael, things of protection, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is basically a bit of a ramp that goes up to kind of an exit, but there's also a ladder that's been built and stuck to the wall that you can use if you want to climb out of here. Up to you.
I'm gonna grab the ladder and give it a tug to see if it's like loosened from the wall or anything.
No, it looks all right. Although it looks like it looks like it's maintained.
Wood or steel?
Wood.
Okay. Right. Well, up the Ziggural.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
After you.
Right. No, I was just making sure we were all. I wasn't implying that you should. Right. Okay. I'm just. I'm gonna go up and see what we see up top. You're muted. Bleak, you're muted.
You're muted.
I'm kidding. When you climb up, you find yourselves on the map, emerging over here.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay. Is there
You are in a
hatch
slightly
or-
forested area. You are protected from the wind by the little cliffs that are there. You can see a fair bit away, but still easy enough to spot. You can see the storm house over here. Would be like a short trek of maybe 30 minutes or so to get across it there.
As we get on out, I would probably kind of straighten myself up and say, did any of y'all feel that was a little odd to have all of those religious prayers and symbols?
Certainly unusual.
Most of my dealings with that happens to either just primarily be at a church, or when it comes to things not going so well that we would call the father or the priest to be able to come out to be able to do it. But then this is just very, very odd.
Well, in my line of work, it's not unusual to see that, I suppose. You've got plenty of folks that are trying to ward themselves from spirits, demons, and the like. So, it's quite normal to be able to see a religious
What
symbol.
exactly is your line of work?
What was that? I'm sorry?
What is your line of work? May I inquire?
Yes, of course. I am what you would consider, and he kind of takes a step back, and as like kind of a grand reveal, what you would consider a bit of an occultist, if you will. Yes, I can speak with the spirits and commune with the elements, and I've got a way about, seeing things unseen, as it were. I know, you wouldn't presume it by my look, but...
An
Very noble
occultist,
to
you
see.
say? And what, that's some kind of, and she quirks an eyebrow, magician?
I see what you've done there. One would, for less open minds, I suppose that's what I would refer myself to: a magician, a mage, a wizard, a magic man, a shaman. I've been known to be called many things, charlatan even.
Her gaze is just piercing. And you can see she's really mincing over what her next distraction is. But in the end, she just goes, I see. How intriguing. And then just turns away.
That's all if you believe in that sort of thing.
Oh, my dear doctor, if you've seen the things I've seen, then you'd believe as well.
What have you seen, if you don't mind me asking? Again, forgive my forwardness. Apparently, that's
No, it's quite all right. I once saw a small gnome stealing the left shoes of a household. Had to scurry him off using a combination of garlic and sandals. And then, of course, we had the giant Batman, not to be confused with the DC Batman, but a man that was a bat that would terrorize a small village up in northern Scandinavia. Scurried him off with a mix of menthol, aloe vera, and some spirits. And yes, it's fascinating, really.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Garlic, you say?
Garlic, yes.
I've had a little more luck with salt myself.
It depends on the salt. Himalayan salt is not as great as people expect it to be. Sea salt is great. Are we talking about seasonings? Or are we talking about, wait? Right. Garlic. There's garlic salt. It's the best of both worlds.
Oh yes, well that should do you very well then, shouldn't it?
Doctor, as these clowns you've been saddled with appear to be discussing
How very dare
the
you.
finer points of seasoning their meals, you can see across the way the storm house that is very much within easy reach. You don't see any smoke curling up from the chimney, so it doesn't appear as if there would be anyone there currently. But it's definitely close enough by at this point.
Gotcha. All right.
Perhaps we should head to the storm house first. I know you wanted to go to the lighthouse, but they may well be in.
That's fair.
Right.
Note that you can go to the lighthouse if you want. You can see it also in the distance. It's just a little bit further away, but you can totally go there if you want.
But the odds of them having more supplies at the lighthouse is greater than the storm house. If the storm house hasn't been replenished...
Yes. My only thing is that if we, how do you say? I think if we could go, we're not wrong either way. It's just a matter of convenience. If we go hit the storm house first and then hit the lighthouse, we're grabbing supplies along the way. However,
Yes,
even
but
if
if we go to the storm house, we'd have to grab supplies, go back to the boat, come back, because I'm not going to go storm house, carry all that rubbish to the lighthouse, and then carry it all the way back.
True. We can also just confirm that the stuff is there and the stuff looks good enough for us to be able to bring back before we, again, move up to the lighthouse. We can go either way. It's just semantics at this point.
Yeah. You know what? Stormhouse it is. Bundle up.
I think that, I was going to say, like, Eleanor just sighs heavily and starts walking towards the storm house.
I'm gonna wait back.
They just like to talk, don't they?
I'm gonna slow my pace down to meet with Henry and be like, we're bonding. I know that's scary.
I mean, I need to speak to her. Something's going on here. I need to speak to her.
It looks like I've got a bit of an in, so I can set that up for you if you like. I've got.
Well, I mean, please, because there's some very concerning coincidences going on here. And I feel I need to address them. Before.
Oh, it's concern. I thought you thought she was fit. Okay, all right.
No.
I'm misinterpreting this greatly. All right.
Did you say God no?
No, I mean, good God, man. You've misinterpreted.
I really misheard that, and I was like, wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought, this is, wow. Right. What do you mean, God, no?
I think she's been following me across Europe.
Maybe she's a fan.
I mean, great, but still, say hello. Don't just stare at me from a crowd. It's quite disconcerting.
Maybe she's not shy. She's definitely not shy.
No. But
I'll introduce you.
Please.
Meanwhile, as we're walking, Eleanor comes back to start, and I think that she seems a little bit easier. The moment that you said, if you believe in that sort of thing, she seemed a lot more relaxed. But she kind of says, so you consider yourself definitely a man of science then?
Absolutely. Especially being in my field, I've seen what religion can do and what science is done to make things even better. So, I'm not the occult, the supernatural is not something that I'm into personally.
You're saying you've never experienced anything strange that you couldn't explain?
I didn't say that. I just said that most things can be probably explained away with science. Maybe something beyond what I can understand, but for the most part, that's my belief. Now, that isn't to say that I don't have some. I was raised Catholic myself, and you're going to see as I pull out a little rosary. I'm like, I keep it mostly for safekeeping and whatnot, and I'll suck it back in. But for the most part, it's what I can see, what I can smell, what I can hold in my hands. That's real life. And what about you?
Well, we are opposite, I think. I don't particularly trust science, and she kind of packs pats a pouch, and you can see a lot of herbs and things, very more traditional medicine. Nor do I particularly trust people.
That's completely fair. I would say in most cases it's better to have a level of distrust with other people first and have them gain your trust. Those herbs you have there.
Yes, I keep them around in case I become unwell. They make me feel better.
Well, you would be that's possibly also the science in it of those herbs probably do have obviously do have medicinal things, and what we derive from science comes from probably old folklore and stuff of that nature. So there is a level where they could meet in the middle.
You are certainly a more open-minded doctor than most.
Thank you. It means a lot.
I think she definitely seems to be way more at ease, probably because she thinks, okay, he's definitely looking among the scientific explanations for around my eyes, and I'm good with that. So, so she kind of just like nods, and then she starts to sort of feel around in a pack and draw away. She definitely prefers her own company and doesn't like to mingle or talk all that much.
It's funny. We like. You'll see, like me, like I'm very much straight to the point with everything.
Mm-hmm.
You have the other two, and then yourself. So it's just like the little duo with the duo on the outside.
Yeah.
A lot of you will approach then the Storm House. You see that it's a low building made of stone, and it's really made to withstand really bad weather and the elements out here. As I said, the chimney is not spewing smoke right now. There are no lights inside. As you approach the house, you realize it's not been used in a while. The snow is thick. There are no tracks. The snow goes up almost to like a good foot or two up against the walls. As you approach it, you start noticing a few things. One, you notice that the windows and the door look to have been reinforced and boarded up at some point. However, the door is currently broken. And as you approach it, it's getting a little darker. The sun is going down pretty quickly. The wind is blowing at you. The snow is whipping at you. And as you approach the building and see these extra boards, you notice there are what appear to be claw marks on the wood used to barricade the windows. The door appears to have been shattered by something of incredible strength. There are claw marks in the stone on the sides of the door, but there don't seem to be any signs of life from inside. Elena, you feel that darkness inch ever so closer. You can almost reach out and touch it now. It's all around you. You can feel that there's some sort of presence on this island. One that's, I wouldn't say malevolent per se, but certainly unnatural. And you get a sense of anger. And it sends a chill right down the back of your neck and down your spine.
I think there would be like a visible reaction from her. She would like just stop for a moment and steady herself. She would look all around to try to pinpoint if there's a particular place that's coming from, but mostly she's just trying to like feel it and embrace it. And she'll just kind of say, "We need to tread carefully from here."
Why is that?
Just trust my instincts, Doctor.
I'm sure it's nothing. Bear, probably. Like I said, Doctor, before. Like a big bear or something.
I think she'll turn to you, Henry, and she'll go, "Are you sure it's nothing?"
I mean, I've made a pretty decent career out of debunking these sorts of things, so it's most likely a large animal looking for shelter in the storms. This has probably been abandoned for some time. There's logic behind this, my dear. There's logic behind this, as there always is.
I agree with you in that it's just a large creature in this area of this island. It doesn't make sense to me. That's the thing that throws me off the most, is that large animal, and then just looking at like everything that's going on, it's like it doesn't make sense.
Well,
I think she'll like look at Jack and she'll go, "And what about you, Mr. Magician? What do you think?"
I'm running my fingers through the gashes and the wound and the nails. I'm like, it's such a dumb bit. It's afraid. I just watched Starship Troopers the other night. I'm saying.
It's afraid.
What did you say?
It's afraid.
It's afraid. Again, that like very unimpressed, very quirked eyebrow. Ray, tell us what's afraid.
Not sure yet. Jack likes to make general statements the way a horoscope does.
No.
Like, you're gonna find love one of these days. It's like, yeah, well, no shit, we are. Like,
Eleanor is very aware.
yeah.
And she's just gonna mutter to herself, "Well, I'm surrounded by fools."
So what do? You are standing there in front of this building that seems to have been boarded up and reinforced at some point, perhaps, but has been broken into. You can see behind it there is a pen.
Is there a cow in it, or is that just for the map?
That's just for the map.
Okay.
No, but there is a pen. If you were to, we'll just save you the time, but if you were to go there, you would notice that in the little barn area, there's a cow and some sheep and a few pigs in the back that are like kept up into in a pen. They are alive and well, which kind of makes you think that whatever attacked this place was not some hungry animal, because they would certainly have come for these.
I think Eleanor would definitely make a point of saying, well, that rather discredits the hungry animal idea then, doesn't it? Just pointing at the pigs that just seem to be snuffling in the snow, looking absolutely fine.
No one said hungry. My good friend here said afraid. That's two.
I'm standing next. I'm standing next to Alana, like in my grandstanding, looking at the other two, like, yeah, it's not an animal. Like we were right.
So what kind of spookiness do you think it is then?
Could
You
be.
seem to have all the answers.
No, I mean this type of stuff takes time. I mean, it could be a werewolf. It could be a. I've heard of this newer thing called a goat sucker in another language that I can't pronounce.
Oh my God.
Good lord.
There's a variety of things that it could be, honestly. Yeah, we won't know until we find more.
Eleanor's gonna just ignore these fools, and it's going. So obviously there's the obvious deep scratches. She's gonna be looking for any other sign that will maybe give her more of a clue of what it could be that's actually tried to get in or has managed to get in. How long ago this was. Like, the animals still look pretty well cared for and they seem fine, so then that indicates that someone is looking after them. But
Yeah, so you get the feeling that this didn't occur. This occurred a little while back, but that the place has still been maintained. Like they just never bothered repairing the house itself, but
Right.
they've been helping. You know, could be maybe because they don't really have any other place to put the animals, so they've kind of been obligated to do that. But it certainly feels like maybe as much as a year has gone by since this sort of occurred. There's not much outside other than that. Snow's covering everything. If you want more information, you probably have to go inside, or you could head up and go to the lighthouse.
I would like to go inside.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same.
I think I'll draw my
internal
pistol and-
investigation.
I'm going to draw my pistol and sort of like shakily make my way.
Will you watch where you're pointing that thing?
What?
Right. Jesus, man! Right, guns up. I'm gonna give you my pistol as well. And I'm like, right, you are in charge of the guns. Alana and I will do our thing, right?
You've put the man with the shakiest hands in charge of the guns.
You know, the shakiest hands often have the best aim. I don't know. I've
Everything
got no way
that comes
to say
out
this.
of your mouth is nonsense.
Well, a non-believer would say that.
While that's going on, like, I'm already in. I want to be inside, and I want to start looking for like any sort of like medical supplies that was said to have been here.
So when you go inside, the first thing you notice that kind of sticks out is that this looks like they were set up for Christmas. There are some decorations. You can see that there is the remnants, a good year old, of a Christmas feast that have been laid out. The place itself looks like it was being used, habitated by someone. You can still see the bed, books are strewn about. There are still, the remnants of life, basically, in here. So it wasn't very long ago that, they ceased using it. As you go around the house and take a look at it, go ahead and you can make me investigation rolls. You could make a magic roll if you wanted instead. But go ahead and make those rolls and tell me sort of what you get, and we'll see how many successes you get overall.
Are we all rolling? Yeah, I assume we are.
Oh,
We're all doing the clicky clacks.
Yes, we are.
Oh,
I got a 6 and a 1.
And the 6 is good.
What are you rolling
I got
for?
one success on investigation.
Yeah.
That's 4 6s. Because I rolled 7 of these bad boys because I used my advantages.
Oh,
I was like, you know what? I need to show up some people in this room right now.
So I'll tell you everything that you find as a group, all right? As you move through, you find, of course, that the place smells cozy. There are several books on plants, herbs, flowers, gardening, etc. You find some Gothic romances. There are books of poetry. There are a lot of books here. There are a lot of books. You notice on the walls there are several pictures. Many of them of a farm somewhere. Hard to tell where, but there's a farm, some animals. You get other pictures. There's a man. Picture looks kind of old. A man appears to be a sailor, maybe. I will also copy, during the break, I'll copy all these in the notes things, to worry too much about the notes. Who appears to be in Africa. You find crosses, Bibles with several bookmarks, notes in them. You find, Doctor, something that you can identify. There is a tin that's old and past date of what appear to be quinine tablets. The things that draw your attention the most are, one, you find a piece of paper stuck under a bunch of books and things like that on the mantelpiece that appears to be a Coast Guard report.
Ooh.
It's dated a little over 7 years ago in the summer. The report reads, and again, I'll copy this over in the notes later for you to read, but the report reads, be on the lookout for an escaped patient from a nearby sanitarium who escaped by stealing a boat. While he is not considered dangerous, you should contact the Coast Guard immediately if you see him or his boat. It is in his and your best interest to do so.
This is something that I find, yeah.
Sorry?
This is something that I find, or that we
That
all
everyone
collectively-
finds, that
Okay.
sort of just going.
yeah, because I was gonna say I haven't said what my rolls were yet.
But you were rolling magic, right?
Well, I roll. Yeah, well, I rolled investigation because I was going to do the sixth sense thing, but I rolled 3 6s,
Oh, okay.
and I
Very
just
cool.
remember that that's a thing.
Yeah, so hold on to that for a second.
I'll hold it. I was letting you finish first.
You find of interest a stack of letters. The stack of letters are from someone named Linnea and are addressed to Oscar and Ingrid. As you scan through the letters, it becomes apparent that Linnea is their daughter. She lives in Christiania in Denmark. In the letters, she says that she hopes they're doing okay. She asks if they're considering leaving soon. She says hopefully they're saving up some good money. Meanwhile, they, meaning Linnea and her family, are looking for farms available to buy for her parents, but they haven't found anything yet. There's a particular few excerpts that catch your attention. The first one reads, "If you and Father believe this is the best way, it's terrible what happened to your farm, but surely it's a sign that you should come live with us in Christiania. Leave the country, come to the city. You'll see how much more comfortable we can be here. Jonas has a good job, Mother. We can take care of you two. I know Father is terribly proud, but anyway, best skip this last part when you read the letter to him. I wouldn't want him to get cross." Another one reads, "I'm including boxing reports from the matches in Lund. Be sure to read them to Dad, exactly how they are written, so he doesn't give you any guff, Mother." Another excerpt, "I hope Father is not drinking too much. I worry about you two alone out there. What if something happens? And you know it's why his eyesight is failing him. I wish he would stop before he becomes blind." Another one reads, "I don't know what more to say. If Father is not inclined to leave, perhaps you should just come home by yourself. He can't force you to stay there with him, so it breaks my heart to read how thoroughly unhappy you are. Surely you must have saved enough to buy some new farmland by now. Please consider returning, Mother. Your granddaughter misses you so." And as you're reading through all this, and again, I'll copy them over, as you're reading through all this, looking at the tins, looking at the pictures, Elena, you instantly feel drawn to something. You feel the darkness is closing in on you, and it's driving you forward, and you notice a little sort of side table or something like that that's near the main table in the kitchen. And as you watch, the darkness is starting to coalesce around it and start to kind of tighten around it. You take a step towards it as the others are busy reading letters and looking at portraits. You step towards it. When you do, the darkness is almost completely surrounding you at this point. And you reach down and you move the bit of furniture, and you can see that the floor is stained with blood.
Oh no.
You can see that there are wooden boards that have been removed from the floor. There's a hole there. Something was there before. And as you see that, and the darkness completely envelops you and closes off on you, and you know that this is the point of origin for this anger and feeling you get a sense that something somewhere on this island has stirred to life.
Oh.
And that's when, behind you, from the door, you hear, "And just what the hell are you doing here?"
We all jump out our skin, I imagine.
Yeah, because we all hear it.
Yep, you all hear it.
Yeah, right. I turn with a symbol that none of you have ever seen or recognized, especially not Ilana, of like a protective ward, and I'm holding it out from my necklace.
Especially me.
Yeah, especially you. Who goes there?
You see a older man with a long white beard and long white hair. He's got a Lightkeeper's hat on, a long Mac, galoshes. He's holding up a lantern, and he's got a pistol in his hand. It's not pointing at anyone, but he's holding it, and he's got the lantern up, and he's giving you a very stern look.
Damn, Santa's going through it.
How the hell did you end up here? Who are you? Speak up.
I stand
Not the face of the party.
No, I stand behind the doctor, and I'm like, right, you're kind of leading this party, so I think, and I kind of nudge him with my shoulder. I was like, I think you should be the one.
Yeah, sorry, my mind escaped me for a little bit. I'm sorry, who exactly are you?
I'm Oscar. The Light Keeper.
Mr. Oscar, good day to you. My name is Dr. Martinez. I'm with the crew that's on the boat that's currently docked at the moment. We were coming
that boat
to...
didn't crash? I thought for sure it would have crashed.
No, we're perfectly fine docked at the moment. However, we're coming to look to you because we're in need of medical supplies, food, water, all that good stuff. And the first mate told us to come by, talk with you, pick up some of the supplies so that way we can take care of what we have going on our boat before we head back up on our shore. Also, do you happen to have any idea as to when all the weather should clear up enough to be able to allow us to continue our voyage?
Well, let me tell you, I saw you coming in last night. I thought for sure you were goners. Otherwise, I would have gone down to try and help, but it looked from where I was standing like you were about to go down for the count. As for the weather's the least of your worries right now. If you hold your lives dear, you're going to come with me right now. It's not good to be out after dark.
From what?
Well, tomorrow's Christmas. And the beast comes on the eve of Christmas.
I'm sorry. Forgive me. The beast. Like, what are you talking about?
You'll find out soon enough.
I hope we don't.
The only safe place is the lighthouse. I wouldn't go back to the boat.
I mean,
you do what you want to do, but I'm going back to the lighthouse. It's the only place that's barricaded well enough to prevent this thing from coming. And I should know 7 years. 7 years this thing has been coming. And every year we survive one more year. It's coming again. It's coming today.
Is it,
right.
What is it exactly? Have you seen this thing?
Who the hell knows? Some kind of monster and haunting this island.
What does it look like?
He just said nobody knows.
Like darkness with yellow teeth, red eyes.
Does it speak?
Well, not unless you count grunting savagely.
Just filing through the memory banks, ruling things out.
Clearly, this is a werewolf. I mean, nighttime, snow.
Are you stupid?
He is.
Did I say anything about a wolf? Do you think I don't know what a wolf is?
Jack has been called many things in his life. A liar, a cheat, a fake. Stupid is not one of them. So there is a moment where he's just like,
clutch the pearls.
No, y'all do what you want to do. But if you got a mind on saving your skin, you'll come with me.
Well, I'm convinced. Puts the guns away.
I would like try to stealthily show the doctor the blood around the table. Where the table was covering it up. I would just like to try to do that, but without attracting this guy's attention.
No, not a problem. You managed to do that.
I'll take a look, see it. I will take a look. I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look back at you, and then I'll look back over to him and be like, right, we don't necessarily have a lot of time, so if you can take us to get the supplies, that'd be great. So we can continue on with what we need to do and head back to the ship, because I don't think we're, like you said, I don't think we want to stay the night on here.
Your funeral.
Oscar, is it?
Yep.
Where's your wife?
At the lighthouse.
Can I tell if he's lying?
You can make a observation roll.
Make an observation roll.
All along.
Can I give her the help action?
You can.
Oh.
Yeah. So you get to add a die.
Ooh,
Okay, I had a die. 7.
nice.
7 die. 2 6s.
Nice.
2 6s. That's pretty good. I will say that he is 80% not lying to you.
80%?
80%.
20% of doubt in there.
So what that tells me is 80% of the wife's body is at the lighthouse, 20% of it is elsewhere.
No, you
That
get the
is in
feeling
the
that that's true. You get the feeling that
God, that is morbid.
the way he responded, you get the feeling that, you know, she's probably alive and well at the lighthouse.
Just missing an
Right.
arm or something. There's nothing there.
They gotta eat. All right. Listen.
Well,
You coming then? Or are you gonna stick it out here? Because that beast is coming within the hour.
All right.
does the
Never
beast
known.
try to get to the lighthouse, or does it stay away?
The beast has been just trying to kill us. Tries to get in. It only comes on this night. It tries to get in. We had to flee this place because it broke in.
Right.
It's coming again tonight.
And it knows that you're at the lighthouse.
Oh yeah.
So it will come to the lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then we're going to the lighthouse.
Yes, we'll go to the lighthouse, we'll grab our supplies, and then excuse ourselves to head back to the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Just a thought. Should we tell anyone on the boat that maybe there's a beast that's going to roam around? I mean, is the people on the boat safe, Oscar? Is that something we should be concerned about?
I mean, do you want to go back and tell them and then be stuck out there on your own?
Definitely not. No.
Right. So,
You know you're not gonna have time to go back at this point. Not before night falls.
Okay.
Look, I'm done dilly-dallying. I'm going back. If you want to live, come with me.
Close your boots and
just,
it's like,
oh my God, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger who hasn't been discovered yet.
get to the chopper.
He turns around
Let's go.
and walks away.
Right. Okay. Well,
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow.
Guess we're
Shit. Let's go.
Yes, we are.
As you're walking with him back towards the lighthouse, he points out a few things. He'll say, like, you know,
Is he tour guide?
over there on the right, there's the cemetery where all the old Lighthouse Keepers are kept. Over there on the left, in that little forest there, that's where we get most of our game in the summer. Sometimes there's a little bit of game to be had over there. And down there where the bridge is, you can go down into the ravine below. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but
Oscar, how does one become keeper of the lighthouse? Is this a punishment or a boon to do? Like, what's like, you know what I mean? Like, you've got a whole graveyard of them, so clearly, is this a familial thing? Has this been in your family for generations? How does that?
you apply for the job with the government.
Oh, it's just a job. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, you have to be of a certain temperament to, you know,
Sure.
be
I'm
able
the
to
prat.
handle
Got
it.
it. Right. Okay.
you know, I have to get up several times a night to inspect the light and refuel it, and
Sure. And if you see boats, you're supposed to assist,
yes.
which you didn't do because you just assumed we crashed. Right. Got it.
Well, I assumed that got down there and trying to do anything would put me at risk with the beast coming tonight, so
That's fair. Well, knowing now what I know about, you know, this not werewolf, winking at him. Right.
there's something wrong with you.
I would take that over being called
What an
stupid any day.
excellent observation.
It's a very
You'll have
good
to excuse
magician, so I
me.
hear.
Been here a while, and social manners are one of the first things to go, and then, of course, it's personal hygiene, but that's a different story.
I have a question that I would like to understand from observing this man.
Yes,
Does he have glasses on?
he does not.
Ooh.
what with that failing eyesight, I would have presumed that he had glasses on. Interesting.
Has he ever worn
We
that?
found some broken glasses, didn't we?
I kept them.
Interesting.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna slow my pace down to come back to Henry. Be like, guys, get a load of this guy, right? Fucking Oscar, more like Oscar the Grouch. Eh? You should say that name. I think that could be something in the future, actually.
Yes, I'll make sure to note that one down. Yeah. As he just like carries on walking.
Yeah.
You eventually approach the lighthouse. The first thing you notice upon approaching it, and you can see a little map on the Albert.
Ooh.
Nice.
It's actually bigger than I expected.
The first thing you notice upon approaching it is that there are apparently defenses that have been built around it. There's a wooden fence that has been built around it. They have these weird sort of fences with spikes jutting out of it. You can clearly see that the door has been reinforced. You can see claw marks on the door itself and on the stone all around.
Mm-hmm.
How high do the claw marks go? Like, what's the highest?
Pretty much all the way to the top.
Oh no!
Oh, what?
Now, are they
It looks like something's climbing.
climbing
traveling
or
up.
like jumping and like clawing down?
Climbing.
climbing?
And does it look like quadrupedal, or does it look?
Yeah.
That's a good
Roll
question.
investigation for it.
It's an excellent question.
Roll actually. Yeah. Go ahead. Roll an investigation on that.
Investigation. Okay.
It's 2 successes for me.
Claw marks appear to have opposable thumbs, but the other ones don't.
Oh no.
2 successes as well.
Yeah. So that's what you get.
Okay.
Is there any bits of fur, a snaggled tooth somewhere, a claw?
No, nothing like that. I will say no. Actually, it would be no. You wouldn't see that because it would be too long ago. But no, there's nothing. No fur. No.
Nothing.
As you approach, coming out on the steps, you see a woman dressed in a very simple sort of garb with a little bonnet on. She's clutching a crucifix in her hand. And she comes out and she goes, "What you got there, Oscar?" They're from the boat from last night. Apparently it didn't crash. They came out here looking for supplies and such. I don't think they believe me about the beast. She says, "Well, they will in about an hour's time." I tried to tell them that, but, you know, this is my wife, Ingrid. She's like, "You've chosen very, very bad time of year to come here."
Well, it wasn't quite by choice.
Right.
Well, at least for some people.
we booked this trip to come here.
Well, I guess you may as well come in.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
we don't necessarily want to keep you from too long from the supposed return of the beast. So if we can grab those supplies, medical, food, water, all that good stuff, then we can go about and head back to our ship and let them know of its return.
Well,
Doctor, that's it's getting. Hold on now. It's
Not too hasty.
Right. It is getting late. Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be stuck out there on an island that we don't know, in a blizzard, with a potentially dangerous animal. I think we just sleep it off. We go in the morning. They're fine. They're harbored.
you're not going to have much of a choice.
I mean, 4 dead, supply runners is not going to do them any good. So,
All right. Okay, that's fair. We'll begrudgingly, you're gonna see as a kind of white knuckle a little bit, but we can stay the night.
or at least we stay until the weather clears enough. That's a compromise.
Well, I want
Middle
to
ground.
see this beast.
Well, of course.
I think our best bet is just like what you were saying: is stay the night, observe this beast. I'm gonna say with air quotes, and then, like you all said, we'll return in the morning time. At least we'll daytime. We'll see it's less treacherous. That makes more sense.
The weather might have blown over. It'll be a safer journey back.
Yeah.
No problem.
Oscar looks at you. If you survive the night, of course.
Are you planning to kill us, Oscar?
All right.
Why
No,
would you say something
Henry.
like that?
I mean, you have very ominous threats to people who are staying in your home, and I don't usually tend to do that. I don't know about you people, but I
Merely
tend to
warning
just...
you.
I look at you. What do you mean, you people?
Is he squinting, Oscar? Is Oscar
You mean
squinting
you?
like he's finding it difficult to see? No?
No.
Right. Well, we're locked in here, right? For the most part, Oscar.
Yeah, so they bring you in, and you'll find there's a fireplace going. They've got some food cooking, a pot of something. There's, tea brewing. It's very nice and cozy, actually, in here, to be quite honest.
This is turning into a very Hateful Eight scenario, and I'm all about it.
Make sure someone does the door every time.
Yeah. Damn door. I'm gonna be having a cuppa, and I'm gonna be right. Oscar, you know this island pretty well, right?
Mm-hmm.
In and out, upside down, left and right. I'm just gonna address the elephants in the room here. What about the dead chap in the cave?
Oh, that fella.
Yeah, that fella. Frozen over.
Yeah, I know, some escaped convict or something from some sanitarium. We heard that someone had made an escape. They warned us they might be coming here. We didn't hear or see anything about it. A year later, we found him frozen in his boat where he crash landed on the island. Never bothered to move him. The Coast Guard was supposed to come and get him, but I guess they lost interest.
Right.
He's sitting in his chair. He's put the pistol down on the table. He's sitting in this big overstuffed chair. He's got his little cup of tea. His hat's off, and he is eyeing you auspiciously. Ingrid is preparing some food for everyone. She's adding a little bit to the stew to make sure that there's enough for everyone.
Did he say how long ago it was that they found the dead chap?
A couple years, he said.
He said.
Yeah.
I think that Ella's going to say, when did this beast start coming?
7 years ago.
Interesting.
7.
Can I do an investigation really quick? I want to look for something specific.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if there are any pictures in here of the couple or of anybody that either lighthouse keepers or anything. Just any visual evidence.
Go for it. What are the rest of you doing? So let's do that. Let's go around and tell me sort of what you're up to. Oh my God, Oscar, you've grown.
You doing okay? You hanging in there, Bleak?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
These tokens, sometimes they're ginormous when I haven't.
I love looking at cat randomly because I just see them just reach into the ether of nothingness on the side of their camera and then pull a cat out.
So tell me what you're doing. So you're doing that investigation. What are you doing, Doctor?
I am asking to take a look at the medical supplies that they have, taking inventory, seeing what's still good, what's not, because that's primarily the big thing that I'm concerned about.
Okay, so we will say that you are in this room here with the supplies.
Also, I'm going to push my roll.
Kat, what are you doing?
I think that Eleanor is going to have a sneaky little look around. She is probably going to end up working her way into the kitchen where Ingrid is.
Okay.
And maybe, I don't know, ask some questions or she just wants to have a look. She just, she's doing the whole, this is a nice place kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like trying to see if she can figure some stuff out.
And Henry?
I am going to kind of stay where I am and use one of my talents called automatic writing to see if I can gain any clues as I motion to sort of take notes of what we've been talking about, but use my talent as automatic writing.
Okay. Doctor, so make that roll, Henry. Doctor, there are very few supplies left. It looks like there hasn't been like a regular resupply in a while. What's left over are, there's a bit of tin can food, things of that nature. But it's really not as much as you were hoping for.
Okay. What I'm able to scrounge up, I will put into my backpack. Mm-hmm. And I will head into the room with Oscar and them, and that's where I will have a couple questions for him.
Henry, sorry, not Henry. Jack. There are no portraits. There's nothing there. You get the sense that they moved in here kind of in a rush. And you get the sense they left a lot of that stuff back in the other house where they probably used to kind of live more. So there's nothing of that kind here. You do notice crucifixes, religious paraphernalia a little bit around the area, but there's nothing personal.
When Oscar takes, when Dr. Martinez, it's Dr. Martinez, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, takes Oscar for a side chat over there. I want to talk to Ingrid.
Not a problem. And let's do the automatic right. Actually, let's do Cat first. So you eventually find your way slipping into the kitchen where you find Ingrid working. When you walk in, she gives you a side eye.
Need any help?
Continues what she's doing. No, I'm fine, thank you.
All right. Your husband mentioned this beast started coming 7 years ago.
I believe he did.
What experiences have you had with it? Did it hurt anyone?
Not yet. There's only me and my husband here. It's just been coming every year on Christmas Eve. And comes and tries to kill us. The first few years we stayed in the storm house, but eventually its assaults proved to be too powerful, and then we discovered that it fears the light, and so the lighthouse keeps it at bay a little bit more. It needs to work up its courage before it approaches us. Buys us some time.
Fears the light. Does it? And she's not like talking in a way that's like at all, maybe like, especially from the good doctor who's been very like, yeah, all right, beast. But she's not talking in a way that seems like she is either frightened of what Ingrid is talking about or disbelieving in any way. It's like a very like practical, like a doctor would talk to a patient, I guess, about symptoms. I see. I don't think I've ever seen something or encountered anything like that before. Does it have a name? Do you know why it hunts you?
We don't know what it is. We don't know what it wants. It just keeps coming every year on the same night and trying to kill us. We know nothing of it. It is unexplained. Something conjured up by this island to make our lives even more miserable than they already were.
Well, it won't be mindless. If it is coming at a certain time, at a certain place, at a certain date, then it has intent. And so there's a reason why it's attacking you. Why do you stay?
Do you have anything to hide?
Everyone has something to hide.
Well, I hope you're comfortable with it, because this creature will find it, and it will attack you with it.
So it doesn't just snarl and bare its teeth then?
No, that's at the end, when it's frustrated.
What does it do before that?
You'll see. It will get into your head. It will find out things about you. It will expose you. I would tell everyone here what you're hiding.
Interesting. Why do you stay here?
My husband has become obsessed with this creature. He believes that we cannot leave until we kill it or it kills us. The rest of the year, he spends his time worrying about it, scouring the island, trying to find its lair, building up defenses, coming up with plans to trap it, plans that never work, of course. We were supposed to leave a long time ago, but his obsession is keeping us here now.
I see. Why don't you leave?
Well, he's my husband. I can't very well abandon him here, can I?
Because he's family. Family sometimes do strange things, though. Things that you cannot ignore. Things that cannot go. You can't just accept them. He's your husband.
Do you have family?
I did.
What happened to them?
They're still alive. I just no longer consider them family.
Why not?
Because my family did something unacceptable. And we should not accept unacceptable things. Even if they're family.
What did they do?
You needn't hear it from me. I'm sure your beast will tell you later.
Was it something you had done that forced them to reject you thusly?
Not something I had done. Something I was.
Are you no longer that thing?
Oh, I'm very much that thing.
I knew there was something strange about you when you came in.
You know, that's not the first time I've heard that today.
Well, you can take comfort in one thing. In a few short moments, there will be one here who is even stranger than you.
I look forward to meeting it. And she gives a very unnerving smile.
She gives you a little smile back and turns back to her cooking, and after a moment she says, "Looks like we have 2 monsters this year."
I think she just bursts out laughing.
Meanwhile, in the other room, Henry, you're feeling the old mood settle upon you. That mood that comes late at night when you've had just enough to drink, not too much, just enough to loosen up the old brain and make you fearless as a writer and willing to take chances, and making you perhaps more comfortable with conjuring up ideas and thoughts that may, in the broad daylight, be a bit less inviting. You feel the story exist around you, and you know you just have to reach out to get it. What did you get on your roll?
Well, I was gonna. Can I add my advantage to this roll?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another 2, is it?
Yep.
2 6s.
So describe to me what this looks like when you do this.
It essentially looks as if he's kind of like sat, like head chin down into his chest, deep in thought, and you couldn't tell from the way he's got himself positioned whether his eyes are closed, or he's asleep, or he's just focused intently on his notes as his hand begins to feverishly go across the page.
Can you read the description of the power so that we know what it does?
It does indeed, yes. When channeling spirits through automatic writing, you can use inspiration to gain clues. The game master provides more or less vague clues, predictions about the future, or momentary insights into the thoughts and experiences of your enemies. Extra successes reveal more clues. On a failure, the game master decides whether you suffer a condition, become possessed, or undergo a personality change. You can use automatic writing once per gaming session.
So what was your roll?
That was 2 6s.
Don't like
You
that.
are losing yourself in it. Your hand is just moving on its own, scratching away on the paper. To someone looking at you, it looks like you're just very intensely writing, but you're somewhere else. You're somewhere else, and there's something else that's with you. As you write and write and write, you find yourself sitting on the shoreline. It's very strange because it's this shoreline, but it's the summer. You can see the boat, but it's wrecked. There are parts of it lying everywhere, and you know that if you were to get closer to it, you would see skeletons and dead bodies and things like that. But the boat is completely wrecked. It has been shattered on the side. But it is summer, and you are sitting here, and you hear a song. You hear a beautiful voice carrying a little tune over the water. It's a song that you know well. As you sit and listen to this song, you see something moving under the water. As what's under the water is approaching you, there's a flash of silver, and the voice is getting louder. It's approaching you near where you're sitting on this little rock, and you realize you're on this strange little rock that's a little bit further away from the shore, so that you're completely surrounded by water. You have no clue how you got there. This flash of silver in the water circling around you. The song getting longer and louder and reaching out for you and calling for you to step into the water. What do?
I put my hand into the water to feel if I can get close to this thing.
You put your hand in the water, and the silver light that's swimming around the stone stops and circles around where your hand is. You reach in a little bit deeper. The song grows. The song envelops you. It calls to you. It wants you to come with it. You feel something touch your fingertips, like other fingertips, very gently, very tenderly move up along your hand. Then this hand, covered in broken, dark gray skin with claws, grabs your arm. This face, black with yellowed fangs and red eyes, pokes out of the water at you, hisses at you, grabs you, pulls you down into the water towards it. You are sitting at a kitchen table in the storm house. You're alone. You look down at the floor. You know it's there. You know it's there. You've looked everywhere. There's nowhere else it could be. They're outside feeding the cow or some such bullshit. It's now or never. You get down on your knees. You start prying the floorboards. 1 board, 2 boards, 3 boards. You see it then. A huge cat butt.
Millie, you are a menace.
A bag of money. Years worth of savings. You hear a sound. You look behind you. The old man's there. He's coming at you. He grabs you. He shakes you. You're not taking that. You start wrestling with him. His wife comes in. She goes over to the counter. You see her grabbing this cleaver that she's got there. She's coming towards you. You're fighting this old man. He's holding you. She comes up behind you. You jolt. You're sitting at the table. The old man's cleaning his pipe. Jack's coming into the room, looking like he wants to talk. The doctor's coming into the room, looking like he wants to talk. Elena comes into the room.
I look up, and it's like a deep, sharp intake of breath, and then I just look around the room, realizing where I am, and then settle back down to keep scribbling, hoping that no one's just noticed that little outburst as I continue to frantically keep writing.
You look down on your pad, and as you look down, you've written R.I.P. Oscar. And you hear the lot of you from somewhere outside, this loud, bellowing, infernal cry that rises up at first plaintive and distant and in pain, and then louder and louder, filled with anger, reverberating throughout this island. It fills the lighthouse where you are. Oscar looks up, puts his pipe down, reaches down, takes his hat, puts it on, grabs the pistol and goes, "It's here."
Is that the thing that you were talking about?
It's coming. It's going to start playing with your minds, and then it's going to come and try to get in here. And that's when
You cut out for a second.
Yeah.
he
And
says
that's when.
it gets interesting.
Right.
Oh, okay. Could you? All right. So, just to give you any sort of credence with what you're saying, this beast messes with your mind to try and lure us out, to get us out. What is the? Is it just to feed it? To feed itself?
Well, see, that's where it gets interesting, because so far it's only ever been me and my wife, and well, we know every dark little secret in each other's hearts, so there was really not much to be afraid of, but, well, we have guests this year, and who knows what darkness lies in those hearts.
Well, we'll get to learn all about the darkness that might lie in your heart too. Let's not forget that.
As you say that, you hear outside the sound of something moving. You hear scratching, you hear wailing, you hear something clawing at the door, you hear movement outside on the stones, you hear the stones being scratched. I would like you to do something now. I would like you to do
Oh no.
a learning roll. So all of you do a learning roll
Oh, okay.
to see if you can cobble together enough information about what you think this might be.
Oh, my learning is not good.
I've got a 6 and a 2.
2 6s.
Oh, I
we
do
have
have 1 6.
If we have a 0 in learning, we just roll for logic.
You just
then,
roll
right?
logic, yeah.
Got it. Okay. 2 6s. Our dice have been really nice to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have. It could have gone a whole lot worse.
Yeah, honestly.
At the moment.
It's fine, guys. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh,
So how many successes did you get total?
I had 2.
I got
I
2.
had 1.
And 1.
5.
6.
Okay. As you pull your information together, bust out books that you have or piece of information, it'd be Elena first, I think, who would say that she believes that you are dealing with what's called a Draugr. Draugr is a undead type of creature, someone who is prevented from moving on in the afterlife, tied to this world for one burning purpose, usually one of revenge. With the number of successes you got, you would know that it is very powerful physically and almost impervious to physical damage. You would know that it has some magical abilities. You would know that it has the ability to read people's dark secrets. It also has the ability to take over the body of living things. You, Elena, have in one of your books, as you quickly go through all the stuff that you have, a ancient prayer that is known to keep such creatures at bay. The creature must be told. Ghosts of the past brought you here. Ghosts of the present keep you here. And ghosts of the future release you to your sleep. Unfortunately, in order for this ritual to work, you need a few things. You need 3 candles. One that must be lit at each phrase that you intone. You need something of the person who has become the Draugr. And you need to intone their true name 3 times.
Okay. Is this a creature that, or would Eleanor know if this is a creature that can be reasoned with or anything, or is it just going to be on its its vengeance until someone...
It is just going to be on its vengeance kick.
Okay.
My friends,
Oh.
we will do an initiative. Yep.
Oh. Okay. Sorry, things started clicking in my head.
We will do an initiative, but I will give you a chance to talk to each other here a little bit to try and sort out what it is you want to do. So the way it works for the ritual is going to take 3 turns to accomplish. At each turn, you have to say one of the lines, light one of the candles, and say the true name of the Revenant. Not the Revenant, sorry, the Draugr. one of you each round has to be doing the ritual. Doesn't matter who. Your action just has to be, I'm doing the ritual.
Come.
Okay?
Okay.
So I will draw the cards for the initiative. The initiative will stay the same throughout the entire time. And then I will give you some time to talk a little bit together to try and sort out, as your characters would have time to kind of start doing things. But I'm also going to be doing things for the Draugr at the same time. Henry, you'll be going at 7. Doctor at 5. Elena at 8. 1 for Jack.
I keep forgetting I'm not the doctor, and it keeps throwing me off.
I keep hearing
And
Oscar. I'm like,
6.
that's not me.
6 for Oscar and Ingrid, and other numbers for the Revenant. So, way on the Draugr. There's a Revenant in the other game that I was doing, so I keep saying the Revenant. You are, I will say, currently in these rooms. Ingrid is on the other side, and somewhere outside, you don't know where, is this boy.
Oof.
Oh, that's scary, boy.
Yeah, it doesn't help that it zooms in on it, right?
Right.
Oh, I like the frame on the token, though.
So, I'll give you guys a few moments to gather your thoughts.
Is it all of us in here with Oscar, or are we in here with Ingrid?
You are in there with Oscar right now.
Shit.
You can leave if you want. You can go down the room or whatever. Like, you can do whatever you want. Just tell me what you want to do.
I mean, I wanted to have the whole party minus Oscar.
Yeah.
Just want to get Oscar out the room. Sir, do you mind leaving?
Yeah, it feels rude to be like, listen, this is your home, and I appreciate this, but
Any chance you could step
I mean,
out?
you don't know. You can always just say like, hey, you know.
I'm gonna wing it. I'm be like, right, Oscar. Could you do us a favor as we try to gather our thoughts and our wits here? Give us the room. I understand this is your home, but maybe check the battlements and make sure the door's barred. I don't know. You've dealt with this before, and we haven't. So we just need to collect ourselves for a second so we can be useful to you.
He gives you a little bit of a smirk and says, sure. Gets up, takes his gun with him and his pipe, and he says, hurry up, though. It's coming.
No, right. We'll be right out. Lickety split. Like a whippet with a bumful of dynamite.
And he goes into the other
right.
room with his wife.
I peek out the door. Okay, all right. Listen. Right, here's what I think has happened. I think the body we found was the real Oscar. Takes out the frames of glasses. These belong to him, right? We found the letters. Eyesight was bad. A couple of years ago, what's his face? For the convict, the guy, the whoever on the boat.
The patient. Yeah.
Yes, the patient landed here, had a struggle, money. The wife wanted to leave, but she couldn't because of her husband's damn stubbornness. Axed him on the head, and they've been stuck here ever since because of that damned animal outside.
I'm sorry, but do you all hear yourselves for this? Like, I get there's something outside, but do you legitimately believe that there's some mythical beast that is out there legitimately trying to come in here?
It's all a matter of science, Doctor. It's just a science you don't understand yet.
Well, and Doctor, let's forget for a second that there's a mythological beast out there that could or could not exist, right?
Okay.
Everything I said before that, though, tracks.
Fair.
I
So-
really, really, truly hate to say this, but you might be right. Like, she
I open a
is
little.
so angry that she has to say this.
One for me.
One for me.
I'll open my notebook to the R.I.P. Oscar.
And I'm gonna look at your. Are you opening it to us?
Yeah. I'll open it to you.
Okay. Bleak, when I look at his notebook, do I notice once again with the writing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I clock it this time. Whereas last time I had a bit of a fanboy moment. This time, it just kind of sinks in the back of my head. I'm like, right. And you wrote this, or did you find this?
I have these premonitions at times, and that was the outcome.
It's a very strange thing for a non-believer and debunker to say.
Premonitions now.
It's kind of like daydreaming. It comes and goes. It's a strange thing. I point to where the gold was under the floorboards. The gold was there, and as our friend said, they came for him. So it would not surprise me if this creature.
You had a vision.
Kind of.
Okay, and so you saw
the wife acts the real Oscar. So now, if we are to believe, that out there may well be the real Oscar.
I know how to get rid of it.
How?
I'm already cocking the pistol.
Well,
and she just gives it a look and she's like, that is not going to work.
Right, because we don't have silver bullets. That's right.
No.
Don't know.
Maybe we use these against him, because he is likely going to try and stop us.
I can smell you.
Right, let's move this the fuck along.
She's gonna turn and she's gonna look at the doctor. And she's gonna say, I know that you are very much struggling to get your head round all of this, but imagine now that we are in an operation and we need to save a patient's life. I am the doctor in this scenario. I need candles. We need the name of that creature out there, the real name, its full name, and we need something else that I can't remember.
Aren't you afraid that once they know how to handle those like us, they will do the same to you, Elena?
I'm sorry.
You
hear his voice is reverberating throughout the entire lighthouse.
There's a little bit of Jack that's like, why am I not included in that? Wait a minute. Well,
when they know what you are, not so different, you and I.
I think that when he said, I know what you are, she kind of smiles and says, do you? Perhaps you could enlighten me.
You are not like them, but then again, none of you are exactly who you say you are. All of you are liars. All of you are hiding your true selves from each other.
When it says liars, at that point, I turn on my heels, poke out the door. Right, Oscar, Ingrid, dear, do you have candles that we can borrow? Would those be upstairs in the attic?
She says, I can get you some candles.
Yeah, we need... I turn back around. Ilana, dear, how many do we need? I'm sorry?
Three candles.
Right. Get us 5 of them, please. I just want some spares in case something goes wrong. You never know. But yeah, 5 of them would be nice.
Oh, that's it. We need the thing. And she's kind of like whips it out of your hand. She's like, and we're going to need these with the glasses.
Right.
Because it was the thing that belonged to
item
this.
belonged.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to turn back to Ingrid and be like, and I'm sorry, Mum, it feels wrong to refer to you by first names as we just met. What was your last name? What was your family name? And I want to use manipulation.
Yes!
Nice.
Go for it.
Get shit on, Bleak.
While you're doing that, are you going to let these friends die like you did your friend when you were young? Are you going to watch them sink into the water? Are you going to push them in to save your own skin?
Why, hey, Oscar was right. This thing does tell a lot of lies. Mom, your family name, please.
What'd you get?
2 6s.
She says Gustafsson.
Gustafsson. Mrs. Gustafsson, thank you so much. It's Gustafsson. It's Gustafsson.
Wait, hold on, real quick. Henry, if when I was asking you to write things down, there was on the body of the thing that we had found. Of the skeleton that we found at the boat. Do you remember what the name was on it?
Do I remember it? What was the name?
Yeah, you wrote it down. Jacques Arnaud.
Jacques Arnaud.
That's
that.
his name.
No, Jacques
I
Arnaud.
think her.
I'm going to come back in so I'm not at the doorway whispering this.
If one of your friends dies here tonight, will you mourn them? Or will you be trying to profit off of them?
I'm looking at everybody be like, boy, right, that could be a question for any one of us, honestly. That could be for anybody.
That could go a lot of different. Very.
Yeah. So, right, chop with the candles. Normally I would undertake this sort of thing, of course, but you know, I'd love to see what your abilities are since I've already proven myself. It's
It is interesting that all of you hide behind lies. There's one of you who has profited more than the others. The others do it to hide their pain or to hide their dark deeds, but one of you has profited from so much created by others.
I'm gonna look at the doctor just because in my mind I'm like, doctor's a pretty lucrative fucking profession. There's a lot of money to be made there, and I'm just like, right, I'm not judging you, mate.
I think Eleanor is looking at Henry.
Damn, are we all doing the Spider-Man meme where we're just pointing at each other?
Yes. I think we are, because I'm literally looking at both Henry and then also Jack. It's just like, I'm like switching between the two of you.
Brad, Janet. Dr.
Now,
Right.
here is the thing perhaps you should ponder. When you leave this place, if you leave this place, what will you do about the fact that so many people now know the secrets you're hiding, including the two people in the other room who know that your work is a lie, that your identity is a lie, that your very being is a lie, and that you profit off the bodies of the dead. They will know.
Still looking at Jack.
Kind of looking between the Jack and the Doctor here.
Eleanor is the only one I think that's looking very comfortable in this moment. The only thing that she did wrong is exist. So, like, she truly didn't do that on purpose.
And as you feel, and as you think that, you hear, perhaps you may believe that, but once they know that you are not human,
oh, well, they do now.
they may be less inclined to let you go.
You're
I
quite
think-
a talker, aren't you?
Oh, that's rude. Oh, the monster.
I'm
Sorry.
talking to the
Sorry.
creature. Shut up!
Rude.
I'm just pointing out that you may have difficult decisions to make.
I
But
think
if you help me finish my task so that I may finally get some rest, then I believe you would have much less to fear of your own dark side.
Do you think so?
I like grab the candles from the doorway, but now I'm clutching. I'm like, right, hold on now. There's an alternative option, apparently, that we had not entertained. Let's presume this is a spirit that wants rest. A spirit that's been wronged. Far be it from me to deny somebody their, you know, I mean, banishing it seems so mean, like evicting somebody. What say we cut a deal with this thing?
It wants the people in this house dead. You're willing to do that?
Oh,
With the other two that I just met, that one is presumably a murder and the other one also a murder. Ooh!
just her.
Ooh! The deal gets better. One less body on my hands.
yes, but then we have to deal with, or one of us has to deal with the fact that the rest of us knows their secret.
I mean, we know each other's secrets at this point in time, and it seems like everybody. I'm willing to be real cool if you guys are.
Does Eleanor know that
Mum's the word, if you know what I mean.
This will actually provide this creature rest, or does
Yeah,
it like
if its purpose is to avenge itself and you kill or
It,
the person who did this, then, which at this point appears to be Ingrid, with the, as per the vision that Henry had with the cleaver, which would have been what would have made that hit in the back of the head, very likely would send this thing back where it comes from.
What a moral dilemma we're in right now.
It's not really moral, but I mean,
It's slightly moral.
it's more logistics at
More
this
of it.
point. Right, so options on the table then. We let whatever the hell that thing is in to do its dealings, or we start a ritual that myself and Elena came up with to banish this thing, and we try to do that over the course of however many minutes it takes. Yes, I look at Henry. Right, what?
I love the idea of us all just going,
I'm trying to convince people at this one. Right, Henry. Listen, first of all, as a writer, right, is this not what you would consider poetic justice to have somebody,
True.
right, come back from the grave to enact revenge and find peace? It's lovely, Doctor. This is no more different than malpractice and righting a wrong that happened in an operating room. So, really, we're doing the humane and
Doing
scientific.
God's work.
We're doing God's work, honestly. If anything, you're doing, you are blaspheming against God.
Jesus.
see, this is where I just grow so tired. You all act as if I'm the monster, but listen to you. You're plotting murder. And she sounds almost like amused by that, like...
I was like, it's not murder, all right?
It's
murder.
murder.
It's not murder. Murder would be if we killed somebody innocent, right? This is a murder killing the murder, which doesn't really happen. So if anything, it's murdercide.
What makes a person innocent?
Are very practiced at telling yourself lies, of course. And it wouldn't be the first time, would it? Jack.
Any one of us could be Jack. Could be anybody.
Could be anybody.
We could all be lying about our names.
Make
I
up your
haven't seen-
mind,
I haven't seen any
because
IDs.
I am coming.
I think that Eleanor would just say, you claim that we're so alike, but you would see me become a monster. I think I can show them that I don't have to be human to be not monstrous.
All you have to do is open a window.
Somebody pin down Jack right now.
No. I'm still. Jack isn't swayed one way or another. He knows where he wants to go, but he's not erratic about it. But he's still holding the candles, and he's like, right, so not the door then? Is what I'm hearing.
Just let me in.
He's being really nice about it.
You're gonna see like the doctor just kind of like cross his arms, but then he's just gonna start walking over towards the door.
Oh, and you all thought it was going to be me. Fuck you guys. Imagine you're all holding me down, and while you're distracting me, the doctor's like, oh, fuck this then.
What are you doing?
I'm opening the door.
Why?
I'm just gonna like stare at you, look at you right in the eyes again, switching between both of them, and then just gonna be like, I'm opening the door.
Are we stopping him?
Well,
Yeah.
This is a democracy. We've built this great nation on the back of democracy.
I pull my gun on the doctor.
As soon as I hear any sort of
Wait
movement,
a
you're gonna
minute,
see me
I
pull a
have a
pistol
thing.
out and like focus it right back at you and be like,
You know what? I like Henry. He's my friend. I'm pulling my pistol on the doctor as well. Like, right. Now, let's not be
Steady.
hasty.
let me ask you this. Our dear friend Henry, our dear friend Henry over here is a little bit shaky. I know I can get a shot off on him probably before he gets one on me. You, as you see me like move it over towards you, Jack, I'm like, you probably have a steadier aim. You're more my threat right now. Leave me be. Let me open the door and let this thing in, and then we can leave out here scot-free. We do not have to die.
Nobody has to die. Nobody has to die.
We can just let those two pass, because they know our secrets, and I don't know about y'all, but I want to keep mine. I now have to be forced to keep it with you all. Those two, I don't know.
I quickly
they
look
have
at
their own secrets to worry about, remember?
Going to open this door.
without looking at Henry. I'm like, see, one of those secrets
I'm
was not mine.
gonna curse him to sleep.
Ooh. I forgot that you can do those things.
I'm gonna curse the moment that he reaches for the door. I'm gonna. Now this is the thing, because I don't normally get involved. I normally watch humans and I watch them play out their little interactions, and I sit and I judge and I think about how funny it is that they think people like me are monsters and that they are the good people in the world. But this time, in this instance, I just curse him to sleep.
So roll your magic, and Doctor, roll your logic plus vigilance. You do have advantages, some of you. So
I was going to say, could I give her an advantage by distracting the doctor by just...
I'm going to use my inspiration as
Talking.
well.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my inspiration too. So that's how many dice do I have to roll? Because you say
it's 2 extra dice for the advantage.
okay, so it's logic and what else?
Vigilance.
Oh, God.
Okay.
And yeah, you can give assistance if you want.
And what does that get me? An extra dice?
Yeah.
One extra die.
One extra dice. Okay.
Shiv, what are you doing?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, by the way, okay, no, that's Jack. Anybody else have a condition? No. Okay, good.
Yeah, because I pushed earlier. That's the only one.
I
And
imagine
Justin and Kat, if you each want to DM me, we'll trust you. We'll trust
Private
you.
results.
I have a question. What? Because in my
Is it just how
inventory,
many sixes we rolled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
in my gear, I have a camera. Now, what kind of camera is that? Is it one of those tripod ones?
It's
Or
got to
is
be
it
with the
It's got to
black
be
powder
like
flare.
it's
Yeah.
gotta be like-
Just on your back.
I was just gonna say if I could use that to try and blind the doctor.
It would require
is that
too
too
much
much?
setup, I think.
Okay. No, you carry on, guys. Let me talk. Set this up.
I actually
Right, move
almost
to the left a little.
I actually almost accidentally messaged Justin. I was so like.
Do either one of you want to push the roll?
Yes.
What,
Now,
what, does,
j-
what does
just-
that do?
yeah.
Again, how do I do that? Can
You re-roll all your failures.
yeah.
The successes stay as they are. Then you take all the dice that were failures, you re-roll them, and you take a, in this case, mental
In the
condition.
words of Salt.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Ah,
Absolutely, I'm doing it.
So when you DM me this time, give me the whole number, not just whatever you just rolled.
Also,
Okay.
I can hear somebody has metal dice. They sound really nice.
Thank
I
you.
have one melder. Okay. So altogether, what I
Yeah.
originally rolled plus the additional.
Yeah.
Oof.
No change.
Oof. And you took a condition.
And I took a condition.
Damn.
And I'll take a condition as well. Do I get to choose what that is or no?
Yeah, you just can't take broken. You're going to take angry, frightened, or hopeless. Probably angry, I would guess.
Angry, I think. Yes.
Okay.
The doctor turns, reaches for the door. Elena raises her hand. In her hand is this fine, long, what looks like a long finger bone.
It's Voldemort.
She says words in a strange language you don't understand. It sounds alien and different. The doctor falls down on his face as he reaches for the door. And just before he hits the floor, you hear from the other room a gunshot.
Oh my god. He's sleeping. He's just asleep.
Well, I don't know. We heard a gunshot, and I'm gonna go over to the doctor and turn him and check to see if he's got a gunshot wound.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Ooh.
Give me those candles. Give me.
Yep. Nope. Here you go.
Right,
That's
let's get
fine.
to work. We haven't
Right.
got time.
Henry, grab his legs. Ned, grab his legs.
As you're setting up, Elena, you feel the darkness is dissipating. It's moving away. You don't hear a voice anymore.
Oh no. The convict to do. Oh no! Wait.
Oh no! I don't know what the oh no is. I don't like the.
I think that the.
I think I know.
I think
I
that the
think I have a
convict might
feeling.
have just killed the wife.
Or
Ooh.
the other way around, maybe. I don't
No, it was the. Fuck yeah! I
The
have to
guy
drop.
pretending to be Oscar.
I drop. I'm so sorry, Justin. I dropped the doctor. Boom. And I rush over, brandishing my pistol to look in the other room.
You open the door. You see Ingrid lying on the floor in a pool of blood.
Oh,
Oscar
wow.
sitting at the table. his
I
head
forgot.
low.
I forgot that Oscar could hear everything.
no. Quick, somebody wake up the doctor. Oh no!
We made a terrible mistake.
We can really do with one right now.
The blood seeps out of Ingrid slowly. Oscar, Jacques, his head is down, his gun. There's only one shot in it. It's one of those old black powder kind of guns. He looks up at you, Jack, You were holding a gun in your hand. This is the last person who knows all the secrets. In the other room.
Oh, God.
In the other room, Henry. You're feeling that feeling you get sometimes of this story building around you, just there for the reaching, just there for the taking, this incredible story of what happened on a distant forlorn island on Christmas Eve one year. Elena, you look at these people around you, these people you know would judge you, would fear you, would know that you are not one of them, and how easy it would be to just make sure you never have to leave this island. Doctor, thumping on the ground, jostles you. You awake, you look up, you see Henry going into some sort of trance, about to start writing probably everything that just happened. You see Jack with his back turned to you, looking into the other room. You see the body of Ingrid on the ground. And near you, with her back to you, is Elena. Not only knows your secret, but is also not human, and has just used some sort of magic on you. And on that tableau, my friends, we end. This
That's how you're ending?
Now we're all monsters.
What happened at the end?
Oh my god.
Like the camera just panning it, just like
just
leaving.
out that window, going up, just seeing that
slow.
lighthouse,
Yeah.
dark.
Well, heck.
Credits roll.
Wow.
Amazing. Wow.
And that, my friends, was Stormhouse, a Vaesen tale.